Welcome to sunny Portugal, Lisboa. I'm here at the official press event called Zeekr 7X Driving Experience. And as it sounds, it's time to finally test drive the 7X. We're gonna look into the driving dynamics, the comfort, the noise levels, the performance of the 7X privilege. Welcome to It's Only Electric. Let's start with some basic facts. The 7X is a mid-sized premium SUV. Biggest contenders may be cars like the Tesla Model Y, the Skoda Enyaq, Xpeng G6, or maybe Xpeng G9. It's somewhere in between, more to the premium side. Other premium cars, Porsche Macan and the Audi Q6. The car behind me is the long-range rear-wheel drive version with a WLTP range of 615 kilometers. It's running on the 20-inch wheels, standard on this setup. The car I'm going to drive is the privilege version with 543 kilometers of WLTP range, four-wheel drive, 630 horsepower. I put all the information up here, and if you want to know even more about the details, you can watch my other video. I'll put the link up here for you to dig into when you have more time. I really like these wheels, even if they are only 20-inch, they really suit the car well. Nice design. I think the size is okay. I think maybe you don't need bigger than this. Another thing that's different compared to the privilege version is the handles. As you see, they are all popped out, and that's because the long-range version doesn't come as a standard with the privilege package, which means that the doors are not automatic, so you touch it like a regular handle and open door. So no automatic doors, smaller rims, rear-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive. Actually a bit of a bigger frunk since there is no motor at the front. Since it's a family SUV, let us focus some on the practical aspects of the car. Here at the boot, we have 539 liters of boot capacity. Additionally, we have the frunk, so in total over 600 liters. And above that, you also have a tow hitch with a tow capacity of 2 tons, 2,000 kilograms. So all in all, it's a practical car. The back seat is really amazing. The legroom, the headroom is, if not class leading, very close to class leading. And tomorrow on the actual press drive, because this is the first day here at the event, and I'm getting some alone time with the car out in the sun to show you the color, the design, the exterior looks, to give you a better understanding. Because the earlier video I did was inside with all what that means. The car I'm gonna drive tomorrow is the privilege version that has the air suspension, so I'm expecting a good ride, a silent ride. And at the same time, when I enter the sport mode, also a stiff and sporty ride. Because I tend to like more a sporty feel, a stiffer feel with less body roll, more body control. And I'm gonna walk through the different drive modes, the regen, and everything that I usually do, try to cover as much as possible. So I hope you guys are going to enjoy this video, and it's very important that you help me to grow the channel by subscribing to the channel, spread the word for me, share videos with your friends and family, write comments, let us have a discussion, and also please like the video. So just started the driving experience in the Zeekr 7X, and this is a privilege version, the maximum spec with the comfort package and the driving pilot package, I think it's called. So it has the automatic doors, the air suspension, the premium Zeekr sound system, the massage seats, Nappa leather. So everything you can get is part of this car. We're driving a stretch here along the ocean, a really beautiful spot. I'm gonna try to give you as good overview as possible. And together with me, I actually have Ulrik from Ulrik's Bilar, because normally when we do press drives, we never do them alone. But I just wanted you to know that he's not a representative from Zeekr anyway. He is
undercover.
Yeah, he's not an undercover guy. He's just doing the same thing as I am. So we are sharing this car for a couple of hours now. Let me start walking through the different drive modes. There is a drive mode selector here at the dash, but I wouldn't call it a drive mode selector because it's only a acceleration mode toggler. So we can toggle the different acceleration modes, and there is 3 different modes you can toggle in between. So when I press this button, you will see that it toggles between comfort, standard, and sport. So it's not a full drive mode toggler or switcher, only acceleration mode. You can also add it as a shortcut on the steering wheel. You see here the circle is meant to illustrate that this is up to you to set. So you can set a certain set of different pre-settings. But back to the drive modes, you also have something called regenerative braking. And you have 2 modes. Stop blinking. Standard and strong. And now I am driving it in strong. You have the steering mode, the stiffness of the steering wheel in 3 modes: comfort, standard, and sport. And as this car also has the air suspension, we also have different levels, height levels, going from very low all the way up to very high, where very low and very high is, you can only set them in certain conditions. So I can't set it to very low and very high currently. Very high is probably only in kind of an off-road mode and in certain speeds. And the good thing is also that it has active dampers. So you can set the stiffness and choose between comfort, standard, and sport. And you have something called brake assist, and that's how aggressive the braking pedal actually acts when you press it. And you have the one pedal driving, which is something I really like. So some initial thoughts. I have tried out the Zeekr 001 and the Zeekr X. I know that I complained about the Zeekr X very soft suspension. Fortunately, I can tell you guys that this car is a lot more sporty. It's much stiffer in the suspension, and I'm actually now driving in comfort, and the damper set to comfort, and it's still fairly stiff. It is not that much comfort tuning in the dampers. I like this kind of setting because you know that I'm driving a Tesla Model Y, so I'm used to stiffer suspensions, and it doesn't lean that much in the corners either. In comfort, it is still stable. So in sport, it will be very stiff compared to that one, and you feel the different setting, especially going over bumps. Of course, in sport mode, it gets a bit more stressed, and it's really quick in the vertical alignment, and there is not much body roll to talk about in the speeds, because it keeps the car very straight, even in the comfort setting. So if you're after a softer, more like American tuned suspension, this is probably a bit to the stiffer side. Such a beautiful place. It's amazing roads here in Portugal, and it's a very silent cabin, but I have a hard time deciding if it's that due to the car and its insulation and air suspension, or if it's the road as such, because the roads here, the asphalt is a lot better than back in Sweden. It's a big difference. We have bigger stone chips in our asphalt. Here is a lot smoother, so the car is really silent. Okay, so combined it has 630 horsepower. It's all-wheel drive, so 2 motors, one at the front axle, one at the rear. The nice thing is that it doesn't have this kind of Volkswagen small motor at the front. It has 2 powerful motors, and you feel that when you floor it, because you still have a lot of power on the front axle, and creates kind of a different driving dynamics when you floor it a bit. The steering wheel in the different stiffness modes gets a bit stiffer in sport compared to comfort. It feels like it's a bit more direct in sport mode. I'm not sure if that's correct, but it feels that you don't need to turn the steering wheel as much in comfort, in sport as in comfort. In comfort you have a bit more of a travel when doing turns. In sport mode it's a bit more direct. Let's try standard and see if standard is... It's a bit damped road, so I'm losing grip when I accelerate. That's probably normal with over 700 Newton meters of torque. It does 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. But it's clear that this is really I wouldn't say a flagship car, but it's a big SUV and it's a lot tuned for long travels. I don't know if you see and hear it, but there's a lot of beeping going on here because it has this kind of annoying beeps sometimes. Maybe I'm too distracted when I drive, but when recording videos. But you can easily turn off the overspeed alert and the driver distraction because it's always telling me to stay focused. I think one reason can be that I have my hand placed too high because sometimes I'm blocking the IR camera on top of the steering wheel, but also probably because I'm looking at the screen. So it's probably two main reasons for that. I'm also going to turn off the driver drowsiness monitor because I don't feel tired. There's plenty of power, and yeah, now I felt the weight of the car. I mean, this is the heaviest car among the different trim levels. Since it's the privilege version, it weighs around 2,475 kilograms. That's the curb weight. So it's a heavy car, partly due to the big battery pack of 100 kilowatt hours gross, 95 net. But it feels heavier, of course, than my Tesla Model Y, for instance. But that's one of the most lightweight cars in that class. So this is almost 500 kilograms heavier. So I have activated the one for pedal driving setting, and let's see if it comes to a full stop. I have a Zeekr 7X behind me, so I guess he can wait. No? Yeah, it does, but it's very fine at the end. It takes time to come to a full stop. It's not really linear. When you're going to stop in front of a traffic light, for instance, you need to plan ahead and get used to how it works, because it is not as aggressive as in a Tesla Model Y, for instance, or the Kia's or Hyundai's one-pedal driving setting, or they call it iPedal, but it's the same thing. I'm gonna stop here and see. Okay, so that's the full stop. It takes time. That's a bit too soft. It takes a bit too long time, and probably not possible to use that in real traffic. Should be a bit more aggressive in lower speeds and come to a full stop quicker. I usually drive cars in sport mode because they tend to get too soft otherwise. This one though, I think comfort is maybe the best setting, because it's really quick in this movement. And this is both good and bad. I mean, I was expecting it to be a bit too soft, but you don't need to worry about the softness. It's you don't need to worry about that. It is not too soft. Let me check the other settings. I deactivate one pedal driving and set it to, let's see, standard. So this is the least amount of regen you can possibly get in this car, and it is not coasting. It's somewhere in the middle. It gives you regen, but not that aggressive. And when we put it to strong, it's a big difference, but it keeps rolling. So now we are actually driving on kind of an off-road segment here for 2 kilometers. We have entered an activated off-road mode, which means that the ground clearance gets from like 18 centimeters to 22, so it's 4.5 centimeters higher in off-road mode, and you immediately feel the difference. It will deactivate automatically when leaving this kind of road conditions, and in higher speeds it will go into the normal drive modes and lower the suspension again. We of course get some kind of missed sounds from the suspension, but I guess that's normal in this kind of driving conditions. Now we're driving to water and mud, and you feel it's a bit slippery, but the car handles that good. Muddy roads and stones and roots. You really feel the height difference and the higher ground clearance. Let us climb. So it is really capable, and I mean this is where air suspension really comes in play, where you can raise the car whenever needed. I mean, you don't do that as often, of course, but when you need it, it's really good. And we are driving on 21-inch wheels, so it's probably not the most optimal wheels for off-road driving, and probably not for comfort either, but I think it still handles the big wheels okay. I like the seats. They are comfortable, and you have a lot of settings, including cooling, heating, and massage, all inclusive in this privilege version. What I like in particular is also the thigh support. I'm tall, I'm 193 centimeters tall, or 6'4", and normally I don't get any thigh support. The good thing with this one is that it has thigh support extension electronically. You adjust that from the side here. That together with the angle is really giving me a good support, because I can angle the seat in a low position with the right steepness to give me a good support. So I like the seats, and the Nappa leather is really soft. It's a soft setup. What I miss is a bit of a lacking side bolster support. They are fairly flat, so when you press it a bit, you don't get as much support as in sportier seats. And I normally prefer a bit more sportiness, at least side bolsters on the back and on the seat. So it's a bit kind of a flat seats, but overall gives you good comfort. And whilst talking about the seats and the comfort, I also want to mention the interior quality. I have tested most cars on the market, the premium brands, non-premium brands. I recently tested the Q6 and the Audi A6, etc., the BMW i5, and I must really say that the interior quality of this 7X is really, it's top-notch. I mean, no one can say that this is not a premium car. It is, and you feel that when you touch all the materials. I mean, it's soft touch everywhere. It's a nice build. It's heavy materials. It's kind of Alcantara inlays on the dashboard, stitched leather on top, integrated speakers, the ambient lighting, the armrests. Everything is really well put together, and you see it when you sit in the car, but you also feel it right through the car. That goes for the front seat and the back seat, actually. So really a premium feel, and this will really make it hard for the premium German brands to fight with, because there is no compromise. And that together with the price point, I mean, this one 679,000 Swedish crowns for the maximum spec version. That's hard to beat. That's really hard to beat. But I think this will really be a long travel car. I mean, the comfort, the cabin noise, the seats, the quality, paired with the extremely good charging, of 480 kilowatts. I mean, 16 minutes, 10 to 80%. That's really amazing for such a big battery pack. So you will be able to replenish a lot of range in short time. So the stops will really not be a problem. Most often you need to stop longer than that because of other technical things, like you need to visit the restroom or you need to eat some lunch. Charging is not a problem anymore. The central screen is 16-inch 3.5K resolution. So it's a great screen, and it's flat and very sturdy integration into the instrument panel. I like that one. Underneath that there is this hardware buttons where you have the mode selector. As I said earlier, only acceleration mode switcher. You have the boot opener, volume, play and pause, and this circle, dotted circle, is your favorite. You can map it to a couple of different features, not that much. For instance, auto parking, adjusting suspension height, amplifier, that's the external speaker. I don't know how many times you want to use that to be able to have it as a shortcut. Feels a bit unnecessary. Switch AC circulation on and off. I don't know when you want to do that, maybe when you pass through tunnels. And close the passenger door. I think that's the most relevant function. If you press that one, you will close the passenger door for your passenger, obviously. I think that's the only necessary function here. They should add a lot more here, actually. I mean, this is software. I want to bind it to several other things. Most further to the right, you have the glove box opener, so that's digital. And to the instrument cluster, it's crisp, looks the same as, and has the same size as in the Zeekr 001. I think it's 12.5 inch, I'm not sure. On top, you have the newly developed head-up display, 36.5 inch. I'm not super impressed by the information on that screen, especially not the navigation, because the navigation information is really Spartan. It doesn't give me any augmented reality features. It's lacking a bit of information. Currently it's only showing the speed, the car in the middle. It says when I arrive at the destination 11:02, and a small guidance for the navigation up in the top corner. And I have also redirected the navigation instructions to the headrest. That's a really good function. Then you don't disturb the passengers as much, and you get to hear the information, the directions clearer. So that's a good feature. I would really recommend you to turn that on. Okay, we're gonna test the auto parking now, and towards that one, activate. I'm pressing that button, and I'm gonna park in between those two cars. So I'm gonna press that one. Pick that one, press start parking, let go of the steering wheel and the braking pedal. So now it's actually doing everything itself. So also have cars in front of me. It's working fine. Okay, so we see it's a fairly, someone is exiting the car, but it still continues. It saw that person. And okay, this seems promising. A bit too close to the car to the right. It will probably adjust that. So you see here, this is probably the best view of what it is doing currently. Can this be the final attempt? So now it's straightening up. Will it fold? Yeah, it folds the mirrors because it's a narrow parking spot. And there it is. It's all done. And you get a nice animation on top showing that the parking is done. Briefly about the automatic doors. Maybe not the most important function in this car, but you get it if you have the privilege version with the comfort package. And as you see here on the screen, you can open all the doors from here. So in this angle, you can actually open all 4 doors at the same time. As you see, all doors are open. And from here, when I press the brake pedal, it closes my door. I can close the passenger door with that button and the 2 others. That's a nice service for the passengers. You can also close windows, open the frunk and the boot from here. And also the charge port. So a lot of neat features. And this is the curtain for the roof. But I have a camera there, so I'm not gonna press that one. Okay, so now on the highway, I have activated the self-driving functionality. So I double tap the lever to the right, exactly as you do in a Tesla. And you get the steering wheel icon. And you see that blue steering wheel and the speed limit. So now I'm gonna raise the speed because it's going too slow. This is a 120 stretch, and I mean, the road is really good. So the noise is really very low. I mean, the cabin noise is exceptional low. This is really comfortable. And it also has the lane change assist. So I'm only signaling to the left and it's changing the lane for me. I'm not doing anything other than activating it by signaling to show the car that I'm changing the lane. And this is included in all versions. And you must hold the steering wheel to change the lane, because if I don't do that, it cancels the lane change process and you need to start over. But it's very smooth and it does the lane switch really nice. I mean, it's not much traffic to talk about here now, but I guess in more dense traffic, it will be a bit more hesitating. But in this road conditions, it stays very stable within the lane, not any wobbling at all, and it actually stays right in the middle of the lane. Some cars tend to stay close to the midline or to the outer line of your lane, but this one is fairly centered. A smooth ride. It feels well polished. There is not much wind noise either. The A-pillars is really silent. No wind noise, very little amount of tire noise because it's running on 21-inch wheels, but still this can be one of the more silent cars in the class. So the Zeekr 7X is equipped with the Mobile Eye solution for the self-driving ADAS systems, and it's equipped with 11 cameras and 1 front-facing radar. Seems to be another system compared to what you get in China. Doesn't have any cabin camera here, not this car at least. I'm not sure if this is how it should be, but I think, because this is not a pre-production car, this is an early production, but still the real production line and the real specifications, so I expect it to be this way. What you have though is the IR camera on top of the steering wheel, as I mentioned earlier, and that's the one that monitors the driver. This is a good opportunity for me to like for real experience the back seat. And the front seat is adjusted after me, and as you see, I have a lot of space here. Also very comfortable. I mean, the seats, very plush, very soft leather, more sofa-like for a really relaxed seating here at the back. And here at the side you can see it, there is adjustments for the backrest angle, so I can recline it a lot, and all the way here, this is the limit, and that paired with a very soft and well cushioned headrest really makes the experience from here great. And one of the biggest back seats I have ever tried out. Here you can also control the passenger seat, push the seat forward to give you some extra premium comfort and leg room. You have your own B-pillar air ventilation for some convenient fresh air, and other than that, built-in curtains, sunshades, so I can hold this button to activate that one, to close the window, shade out the sun, or add privacy. If I press it again, it will unfold and go away. Armrests with USB-C and a USB-A port. The only thing I actually miss is climate control. So there is no screen for changing the temperature here at the back. Even if there is a third climate zone, I can't control that from here. And that's a bit sad for such a premium car. Otherwise, the materials, etc., are on par with the frontal area of the car. Soft touch materials, leather inlays, this Alcantara, the ambient lighting, the speaker finish. I mean, everything is top notch. And this is also amazing. I showed that in my earlier video, but I have 2 fists of headroom. So you can be really tall, but still have a lot of space here at the back. When it comes to cabin noise here at the back, it's almost as in the front. It's a bit more road noise coming from the right side. Probably the small window here is not as insulated as the other windows. This is a lot thicker. I have been focusing on the sound system and the sound image because the Zeekr 7X has the updated system. It's from now on provided from Zeekr, so it's called Zeekr Premium Sound, instead of utilizing the old one from Yamaha, because the 001 was actually shipped with the Yamaha sound system, and that was one of the best sound systems I ever tried. Warm sound, good punch, a good bass, crispy mids and highs. This one also has crispy mids and highs, but is not as warm. So as a summary, the Zeekr Premium Sound System is not on par with the Yamaha system. I hoped for a warmer sound. It doesn't have that. But it's still a very good sound system, so don't get me wrong. But it is just not as good as the Yamaha system in the 001. And I have tried around and played around with the settings, the AI tuning, etc., but it doesn't get that much better. So I really tried out to fiddle with all the equalizer settings and the sound profiles, etc. It doesn't reach the whole way. So this was my test drive here in Portugal, Lisbon, Lisboa, with the Zeekr 7X, and I must say that I'm impressed, because what I didn't know before starting this trip was the actual driving dynamics, because the car is heavy. I was also worried about the consumption as such. How much range can we crank out? How is the comfort? How is the cabin quality when it comes to cabin noise, etc.? Because I already love the exterior design, the interior quality, and all that stuff was really promising from the first day. And now I can actually confirm that also the driving dynamics and the consumption is not that bad. I mean, average consumption around 22, but then we forced it a bit and drove it a bit sloppy or a bit hard in some parts. You can easily drive it with 20 kilowatt hours as an average consumption, and that gives you 475 kilometers normal driving range for 100% for the battery pack. So 475 kilometers. We did also test it on quicker roads, 120 roads. There was a bit too short of a stretch to measure the exact consumption, but then it gets closer to 30 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, and that's more or less 300 kilometers of WLTP range in higher speeds. All in all, I think this is a really great package, and if you combine everything you get in the privileged version, you actually get a lot of car for that money. Compared to the competition from the German brands, for instance, they will have a hard time selling as much as this car if people can get used to the Zeekr brand. I mean, we have Volvo on the other side, the same owner, Geely. So I think it's just a matter of time before the consumers get to know the brand. And to be honest, I have my Model Y now, and I think this may be or can be my next car, but not sure yet. But it delivers on the most important parts. What's missing though is a bit of a software glitch. I mean, everything is not in place yet. And you guys know that from the Zeekr 001. But it's getting better all the time. And this one does have kind of a beta software, so it's not the final software that's going to be part of the actual delivery in June, July. So hopefully they will fix those glitches. The automatic doors is possible to turn off and deactivate if you don't want to use them. Then you can use the doors more traditionally. You still use the electronic opener, so it pushes out the door, but you still open the door manually then, because these ones does not pop out. I think that's all for today. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video and that I could provide you some nice information about the Zeekr 7X. It's always hard to give you all the things in such short test drives. I'm gonna test drive the car for a week, but that's later this summer when the press cars arrive in Sweden. So share your thoughts, write in the comment section, let us have a discussion. What do you think about the 7X? As I always say, subscribe, like, and engage. Most importantly, stay electric. Thank you for watching. Speak to you soon.